Blending modes is finally here in Adobe XD, and in this video we're going to be creating this really cool effect to where when we scroll our text changes color, and so it pretty much goes from white to black, and we are using the difference blending mode, which has given us all the power or ability to do this effect. Blending modes are essentially a way to use two layers and kind of blend them together, and there's a list of different options that you could use, such as darken, multiply, overlay, lighten, and so on. You'll just need to test out whichever effect you like and just go from there. Now we are going to do a quick design of this so I could show you how to do it in XD, and also write a tiny bit of code just so that we could show you how it could look like on the web. When coding this out, we're just going to use react.js, but essentially it's just HTML, CSS that you need to know. There's absolutely no JavaScript logic to determine when the text will go white. We'll just be using a mixed blending mode feature in CSS. So jumping into our WXD, I already have the project pretty much done, but I'm just going to go ahead and do a new artboard for you guys. Go ahead and select the A key and select the Web 1920 and click the text layer. And for the text, we're just going to write, what did we write earlier? Let's see. Don't expect too much. Enjoy what you have. Awesome. And the font that we're using is called B Vietnam. Go ahead and bump the font size to 420, select it to bold, and change the color to black. Let's go ahead and center this in the middle. So we need to push it up a little. And let's create our black background down here. So select the shape tool, get rid of the border, select the fill, add it to black. Now we pretty much have the UI done, but to do this feature, let's go ahead and select the text layer, go over to prototype on the top left, and select fixed position when scrolling. That way we can pretty much leave the item where it's at when we scroll. So if we preview this, what we should be able to do, actually, no, we can't. We can't scroll just yet. That's because the height of our artboard is the same height of the viewport height. So just push this down a bit, and let's make the black box height a little higher. And let's preview this now. If we scroll, the text layer will scroll with us, but it's not doing the effect that we want it to do. Now to create the effect, all we need to do is select the text layer and select the blending mode options and select difference. This will turn it to white, but we want to do the opposite of white, which is black. So in the fill, we want to change it to white so that our difference, or the opposite of white, will turn to black. So changing the fill with the difference blending mode will turn it to the opposite of our fill, which is black. I know that sounded a little confusing, but essentially whatever color you're selecting the difference or the opposite of. So now this, what we see is black, but in reality, or in Adobe XD, it's picking it up as a white, a fill. So when we hover over our black layer, it's going to do the opposite. Let me Control Z so that I could center it back. So now that we have the difference selected, if we select the previous screen and scroll down, it didn't work, but that is because our text layer is behind the black box. All you need to do is hit Command Shift and the right bracket so that we could bring this text layer forward, and preview this again. So as you can see, our effect is working properly. Every time we hover over something, we pick up the difference and it displays. I'm going to make the artboard a little higher or taller so that we can go back to black. Perfect. That's it for XD. Let's go ahead and jump into the code and recreate this. Now for our code, you could find the final project in the description, but I'm going to start from scratch. So it is using React. So all I'm using is create React app. I am going to use Sass. So to do that, all you need to do is npm install node.js. And then simply running npm run start will open up a React app in localhost 3000. So open up your source, go to app.js and app.css. Go ahead and rename the .css to SCSS. And in your JS file or app.js, change the import from app.css to app.scss. That's all you need to get set up with Sass and React. We can go ahead and remove the import logo and get rid of anything within the header. So just delete all that. We're going to create a div with the class name of container and add a span tag for our text. Now outside of our container, we can go ahead and create a div with the class name of white and another one with the class name of black. So I can do white here and then div class name of black. So this will represent our black box and the white will represent our white box. That's it for our JSX. Go ahead and jump into the app.scss, get rid of everything. And first we need to import our font. So switch screens to, where is it at? Google font be Vietnam. And let's go ahead and select the, where is it at? Customize, take off regular, select bold. You can do whatever font weight you want. Add the add import, and let's copy everything in between the style tags and just paste that in there. Go ahead and nest our classes. So it was app.container. Within our container, within our container, we had the .text, and then outside of the container, we had .white and black. I really can't type on this keyboard. Yikes. And black. Holy fuck. Okay. So let's go ahead and add the CSS for the .app, which is the parent container or the div. We want to go ahead and set the height to 2000 pixels with a background color of white. Our container is going to have a width of 940 pixels, a margin of 0 auto. This will center our container, and the position will be relative, being that our text is going to be fixed. We want to center it. Now the color of our text is going to be white. The font size we're setting to 42 pixels. Letter spacing is optional, but I'm going to go ahead and put -1 pixels. Font weight 700. And the font family is the B Vietnam. So I can go ahead and click the Sigo UI, and then that will be our fallback. So go ahead and do B Vietnam. I can't say that. Save that. Something's wrong. Oh, okay. I have an extra quotation at the end for some reason. Save that. And for our positioning, we want to set it to fixed so that when we scroll, our text layer will be fixed on the screen. Add a Z index of 1. This will make our text the highest ones in terms of layers, so it'll be the top layer. And then text align, do center. We can add a top of 180 pixels just to create some margin. And then the mix blend mode, this is where our blending modes come in. We're just going to click difference and a width of 940 pixels, which is the same as our container. Now I forgot to add a class name on our span tag of text, so go ahead and do that. And this is what we have so far, which looks good, I guess. It's clean, but it's not done yet. For our white background or the white class, we're going to do a position relative with the background color of white. I think we could just do background. We don't need color. And then the black one, we're just going to do a background of black. Oops. A position relative, and the height is going to be set to 600 pixels and a width of 100%, which will take up the entire screen. Now, when we preview, it's working, but we are missing something. The white background doesn't have a height. So let's go ahead and set a height of 300 pixels. Awesome. Now, when we scroll, it should just turn white without any logic. And honestly, it looks great. This is a really nice effect to add to your websites. You can have pretty much just text go from white to black like so, and then kind of add some sort of effect to it to where it gets smaller or larger, or the content changes. It's really up to you. There's a lot of creativity that can go here. This is just a very small effect. I know I was out for a while and I wanted to bring like something very simple just so I could get back in the groove of recording again. But if you did enjoy this, feel free to go ahead and leave a like down below. Don't forget to subscribe. That truly helps me out. And I am working on a lot of content soon to come. Just bear with me. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful day.